What's good? Red Countdown UFC 210. Final predictions. Today is the day, April the 8th. We got light heavyweight title on the line. We've got a few other meaningful fights that we're going to get into, such as the co-main event, Chris Weidman, Gegard, Mousasi, and a few other fights that we're going to go ahead and get into. So let's go ahead and get into it. And I'm going to give my final picks, and guys, give your final picks. Leave them in the comments. Tell me who you got. First fight up tonight, we got lightweight Will Brooks versus Charles Oliveira. Breaking that fight down, this is a kind of a test for Will Brooks. They're giving him Oliveira, who's on a losing streak right now. Will Brooks hadn't looked good. He was, Bellator champion, so they're kind of giving him a fight to showcase what he's got. But on the flip side of that, Oliveira can, go out there and, put off one of those slick guillotines and submit him. So, that's pretty much the storyline there. Not too much of a big fight, but I think Will Brooks going to show up tonight and, pretty much start making his name in the UFC. I don't see him, I really don't see the guy fighting for a title, but at least, top 10. Maybe he can prove me wrong tonight. So that's pretty much what it's all about, showing, you have this hype coming behind you when you lightweight in Bellator. So, now you're in another league, you know what I'm saying? What you going to do in UFC. So tonight's the night to, really showcase, especially on the first fight of a stacked card. So I got Will Brooks, and we'll move to the next fight, second fight of the main card. We got Thiago Alves, one of my favorite fighters from back in the day. Patrick Côté, another old school fighter as well. This is going to be a real interesting and fun fight. Both stand-up guys. Thiago Alves, I don't think he's the Thiago Alves that I fell in love with his fighting style with back in the day when he was knocking out Matt Hughes and beating the fuck out of Josh Koscheck, and other guys, to name a few, and when he was, competing for a championship. So I don't know if he's the same guy. This is returned back to welterweight. He hasn't really looked good and hasn't been very active at all. So, tonight is going to be a lot of me going mind versus heart. Heart says Alves, mind says probably Côté. He's been on a streak, TKOing motherfuckers, and he can very easily TKO Thiago Alves tonight. And I'm going to go ahead and go pick Patrick Côté. Probably TKO Thiago Alves, because he's not the same guy that that we saw made his name. So next fight, it's gonna be the first or the only female fight of the main card. So we got Cynthia, Calvillo, Pearl Gonzalez. Just saw Cynthia fight not too long ago. She pulled off really slick jiu-jitsu in her transitions going to submissions. She looked real good, very flexible. I was able to pull off a nice rear naked choke on Amanda Cooper. So this is another showcase fight. Pearl Gonzalez, I looked her up. She's 6-1. She's cute as hell. Had a little controversy at the weigh-in because she has breast implants, and first they said she couldn't compete, then they said she could, which I think is bullshit, But anyway, so it's kind of a showcase fight for Cynthia. She's undefeated. She's looked good so far in the UFC. I mean, Pearl, we'll see what she has, but she's been competing on the regional scene. Cynthia, this is her second fight in UFC. Training out of Team Alpha Male with Uriah and all those little monsters up there. So I'm going to go with Cynthia, although, would like to see Pearl win and, stick around the UFC. I think she's marketable. She's definitely got the looks. And but I don't think she's gonna win. I think she's gonna have that octagon shock. And Cynthia looked super comfortable in her first fight in the UFC. So I'm going Cynthia, probably by first, second round submission, rear naked choke. That's what I'm going with. So moving into the big fights of the evening, and I gotta admit, I fucking changed my picks up all throughout the week. And so middleweight co-main event, Chris Weidman versus Gegard Mousasi. So watching interviews, watching fights, watching the UFC unbedded series, both of them look good, but here's the reality of it. Weidman, he's 2 losses. Weidman loses. What can you do with him? He has to go to light heavyweight. So if he loses this fight, that's what happens with him. If he wins, obviously he's back in the mix of the middleweight title contention. Mousasi, I think this is his last fight of his contract. So if he loses, Bellator. He's already bitching about UFC pay. Bellator, they're going to pay him. So that's probably what I think is happening. I mean, only reason why Mousasi would stick around is to get the UFC title. But, I mean, he's complaining more about the money side of it. So probably Bellator if he loses. Now let's go with, let's start getting down to the pick of it. So, Mousasi's, I feel like, well-rounded. Is that even a fucking word? But Weidman, dominant wrestler. His striking is good. I don't see Weidman losing this fight. I picked Gegard at the beginning. That was fighter. I like him obviously, but I don't see Weidman losing this one because I've seen Gegard struggle with wrestlers. He lost his belt to King Mo in pretty much a grappling match. Jacare took him down, submitted him. Lyoto Machida had him in dominant position on the ground. Although it was a kind of a back and forth type of fight. And Weidman is a superior grappler, so I feel like he's gonna put that pressure on him, grapple the fuck out of him, decision, unanimous, Weidman, and Mousasi probably going to Bellator. Like to see him stick around the UFC though. Definitely like to see him stick around because I think he can still it's any given night at that middleweight division with those probably top 5 guys. All right, moving on to main event. We got obviously DC Daniel Cormier versus Anthony Rumble Johnson. So this is the one I went back and forth with my pick as well, and here's what I want to happen. I want Rumble to knock Cormier out with a head kick or an uppercut in the first round or second round and TKO and KO him, right? But the reality is Daniel Cormier is probably going to do him. It's probably going to be like the Anderson Silva fight where everybody wanted Anderson to win for obvious reasons, and DC made it a fucking ugly, boring ass fight. So I'm seeing that happen again because Anthony can't stop him from not doing it. And I kind of want that to happen for the simple fact, y'all check this out. Jones will be there tonight. DC said if he gets in the octagon, he's going to fuck him up. So, gets in his octagon. So, that's an interesting storyline to look into. But even more so, if, DC wins tonight, keeps the belt, and then obviously, his next fight would be John Jones, which would be probably the biggest fight UFC can put on. I mean, McGregor is trying to fight Mayweather. That's the biggest fight. Motherfuckers keep talking about it. It ain't even set yet, or even close. But the biggest fight the UFC could probably put on with its own fighters would probably be, a rivalry, a rematch with Daniel Cormier and John Jones. So that's how I have him tonight, people. And we'll see how right I am, how wrong I am. First fight, Will Brooks. Second fight, Côté. Third, Cynthia. Fourth, Weidman. Fifth, Cormier. So let's see what happens. Remember to like and subscribe. Leave your comments down at the bottom. And we'll see you next time.